Welcome to the deep dive. So, today's business landscape, right? It really feels like we're just swimming in this huge ocean of information.
Absolutely. Everywhere you look.
Yeah, and trying to make sense of it all, well, that can be a real challenge, can it?
Definitely overwhelming at times.
So, for this session, we thought we'd dive deep into something pretty fundamental. Why understanding data collection and, analysis is just absolutely essential for any modern business.
Couldn't agree more. It's foundational.
We've got some really interesting stuff to unpack here, including some insights from cognitive market research.
Ah, yes. Good source.
And our goal today is, well, pretty straightforward. We want to pull out the core ideas about business data, what it is, why it's so important, and maybe how you can navigate it all without feeling, completely swamped.
Making it manageable. I like it.
Okay, let's get into it.
Right. Because relying just on gut feeling these days in such a competitive world, it's a really risky game.
It feels like it, yeah.
What's truly significant here is the fundamental shift that data acquisition and analysis actually provides. It's no longer just an optional extra.
Right.
It's the very foundation for making informed decisions. By carefully gathering and, examining the right data, businesses can uncover these hidden trends.
Hidden trends, like what?
Like spotting opportunities they might otherwise miss, maybe identifying a bottleneck in your production process, or recognizing a really subtle but important shift in what your customers actually need.
Okay, I see. So it's about seeing beyond just the obvious surface stuff.
Precisely.
And the impact can be, well, pretty game-changing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, take marketing. Instead of just throwing ads out there broadly.
Yeah, the old scattergun approach.
Exactly. Analyzing customer purchases can directly lead to these, like, laser-focused campaigns. That means happier customers and ultimately better conversion rates.
It's about precision, making sure the message actually lands with the right people, saying the right thing, not just hoping it does.
Right, not just hope.
And its reach goes way beyond just sales and marketing. If you think bigger picture, examining operational data.
Okay, operational data.
Yeah, things like how efficiently your teams are working, maybe your inventory levels, the performance of your supply chain. Analyzing that stuff can reveal real opportunities to simplify processes.
And save money, I imagine.
And achieve significant cost savings. Exactly. Ignoring this data or making decisions based on, old information, that carries genuine risks. We've seen it.
What kind of risks?
Well, you could be completely overlooking potential paths for growth, for instance.
Yeah.
Leaving opportunities on the table.
And in today's world, things change so fast. That adaptability, being able to respond quickly to new trends or shifting customer expectations, that seems crucial.
It really is. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded if you don't have that clear picture of what's actually happening around you.
That's a great way to put it, a blindfolded maze.
And to navigate that maze effectively, businesses really need to gather a diverse range of information. Customer data, for example. Their demographics, what they're actually buying that's particularly vital.
Why is that so critical?
Because it allows for much more precise targeting. You can tailor everything, your marketing messages, the products you develop, even how you handle customer support.
Okay, so we get why data is so critical. Foundational, as you said. Now, let's talk specifics. What kinds of data are we actually, looking at here? Maybe we can break it down a bit, starting with that operational data you mentioned.
Yeah, good place to start. Operational data really gives you that inside view of your business. It's focused on your internal workings,
Right.
how effectively your workforce is operating, how well inventory is managed, the efficiency of production lines, how smoothly supply chains are running. Analyzing this kind of data is just fundamental for boosting efficiency, cutting costs, and keeping productivity strong.
Makes sense. Then there's market data. That sounds more external.
Exactly. Market data provides that essential context. What's happening out there in the economy? What are competitors up to? What are the big trends shaping your industry?
So it helps you see the bigger picture.
Absolutely. This information provides a framework for your strategic decisions. It lets you adapt your strategies to fit market demands, understand where you have an edge competitively, and crucially, spot potential new areas for growth or expansion.
Okay, operational, market, and of course you got to have the financial data, right? The number.
Oh, absolutely essential. Couldn't run a business without it. Financial data, your revenue, expenses, profit margins, cash flow, it paints that clear picture of your business's financial health.
It's not just for accountants then.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's vital for day-to-day management, sure, but also for forecasting future performance and, critically, for planning your budgets effectively. It guides resource allocation.
Okay. And the last key category we should probably cover is social and digital data. This feels especially relevant today, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Very relevant. Social and digital data. The stuff that comes from your websites, social media platforms, your online ad campaigns, it offers invaluable insights
Insights into what specifically?
into how customers are engaging with your brand online, what they're actually saying about you.
Yeah.
Analyzing this data helps businesses fine-tune their online strategies, improve those digital interactions with customers, and ultimately sustain their growth online.
Okay, so we know the main types of data: operational, market, financial, digital. But how do companies actually get this information? And how do they make sure it's, reliable?
Right. Collection methods, that's key. There are several main ways. One of the most direct is through surveys and questionnaires.
The classic approach.
Pretty classic, yeah, but still very effective.
Yeah.
They're adaptable tools. You can really tailor them to gather specific feedback directly from your customers' preferences, experiences, what they need.
And people actually fill these out.
Well, interestingly, there was a 2023 survey in the U.S., and it indicated that nearly half, almost 50% of working-age consumers actually prefer interactive surveys.
Interactive, like quizzes or something.
Could be, yeah, or just more engaging formats. It really highlights that making data collection engaging matters. It's not just about asking, but how you ask.
Huh, that's interesting. So the delivery method impacts the data you get.
It definitely can.
Yeah.
We also talk about transactional data collection. This sounds a bit more automatic, behind the scenes.
It is, generally. Transactional data is collected just through the normal course of customer interactions. Like the purchases they make, the pages they visit on your website, maybe how they use your app or service. The real strength here is its objectivity, because it's what they do, not what they say they do.
Exactly. It reflects actual customer behavior, which makes it a highly reliable source for spotting real trends and figuring out how to improve what you offer.
And for understanding that online behavior specifically, tools like Google Analytics come up a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Those kinds of tools provide a huge amount of information about how people are interacting with your online presence. They track key metrics, page views, how long people stay on site, conversion rates for specific goals,
All that website stuff.
all that good stuff. This data is vital for making sure your online presence is actually effective and meeting whatever objectives you've set for it.
Okay. Then there's social media monitoring. That sounds like listening in almost.
In a way, yeah. It's like having a kind of direct line to what people are thinking and saying about your brand, often in real time.
On Twitter, Instagram, places like that.
Precisely. Platforms like those offer a direct channel for customer feedback, but also for understanding the general vibe, the overall brand sentiment. By actively monitoring these, businesses can gather really valuable qualitative insights.
Qualitative, so not just numbers, but opinions and feelings.
Right, and use that to refine marketing strategies, maybe respond to issues faster, and just understand how the brand is being perceived out there.
Makes sense. And finally, CRM integration. That sounds a bit more technical. Keeping things organized.
Absolutely key for organization. Integrating your customer relationship management. Your CRM system is essential. It helps efficiently organize and access all that customer data you're collecting from various places.
So everyone can see the same information.
Exactly. It ensures the information is accurate, up-to-date, and readily available to the people who need it across different departments, for making those informed decisions. Keeps everyone on the same page.
Okay, but just having piles of data isn't the goal, is it? You need to make sure you're collecting the right data, the stuff that actually helps you move the needle on your business objectives. How do you ensure that focus?
Ah, yes. This is such a crucial point. How do you avoid drowning in data that isn't actually useful? The key first step, really, is clearly defining your business objectives.
Knowing what you want to achieve first.
Precisely. Whether it's, say, enhancing customer satisfaction or growing revenue, or maybe making internal processes more efficient, having those clear goals acts like a filter. It helps you focus only on the data that truly matters for achieving those specific goals.
That makes perfect sense. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, but maybe not where you want to end up.
Exactly. And related to that is the importance of KPIs, key performance indicators.
Right, KPIs. Heard that acronym a lot.
Yeah, they're basically the specific, measurable metrics that let you track your progress towards those objectives you just defined.
So they connect the data to the goal.
They do. By identifying your KPIs, you can then concentrate your data collection efforts on the information that directly influences those metrics. So for example, if your main goal is boosting sales,
Right.
then data on, say, conversion rates and customer retention rates will be much more valuable than just looking at overall website traffic numbers.
So it's like focusing on the gauges on the dashboard that tell you if you're actually reaching your destination, not just, how fast the wheels are spinning.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Focus on the gauges that matter for the journey.
And to get even more targeted, there's this idea of data segmentation.
Oh yeah, this is a really powerful technique. Instead of just looking at all your data as one big lump,
Right.
you break it down, segment it into smaller, more specific groups, maybe based on characteristics like demographics or their past behavior, or perhaps where they're located.
And why do that?
Because it allows you to gain much more detailed, more relevant insights that are directly tied to your specific business goals.
Hmm.
So for example, instead of blasting the same promotional email to absolutely everyone,
Which often doesn't work well.
right, you could segment your list. Send different offers to customers who've previously bought, say, product A versus those who bought product B. Much more relevant.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And finally, it sounds like this whole process isn't just a one-time setup. You need to keep checking in.
Exactly right. The business world, the market, customer needs, they're constantly changing. So your objectives might shift over time too.
Things evolve.
They do. So routinely reviewing your data collection processes is essential. It ensures they are still aligned with your current goals, not last year's goals. This lets you adapt your approach, prioritize the data that gives you the most actionable insights right now as your business grows and the market shifts. It's about staying relevant.
Okay, so you've figured out your goals, you're gathering the right data using good methods. Now, how do you actually use it effectively? What are some key strategies for really making the most of data today?
Well, one of the most fundamental shifts, I think, that a business can make is to really foster a data-driven culture throughout the whole organization.
A culture, so not just a department.
Not just the analysts, no. It means encouraging and, importantly, empowering employees at all levels, from the shop floor to the C-suite, to incorporate data into their daily work and their strategic thinking.
How do you make that happen, practically?
Well, a big part is providing adequate training. People need to understand how to actually interpret data, how to use the tools, how to ask the right questions of the data, make it accessible, not intimidating.
That makes sense. You can have all the data in the world, but if your team doesn't know how to read the map, so to speak?
It's not going to drive any real change. Exactly. It's like giving someone a complex map without teaching them map reading skills.
And speaking of tools, investing in the right technology must be important too.
Oh, absolutely essential. You need the right technological infrastructure to effectively process, analyze, and crucially visualize the often vast amounts of data you're collecting.
So things like analytics platforms.
Yes, analytics platforms, CRM systems like we mentioned, and data visualization tools, things that turn spreadsheets into charts and dashboards people can actually understand quickly.
Why are those tools so important?
Because they transform that raw data, which can be overwhelming, into clear, understandable insights. That enables faster, more informed responses to customer needs and, urging market trends. They bridge the gap between data and action.
Okay. Another key strategy we hear a lot about is personalization. That word comes up constantly.
And for very good reason. By leveraging that data segmentation, we talked about looking at customer demographics, their past actions, their purchase history.
Right.
Businesses can really tailor their marketing efforts, refine product development, customize customer service interactions, makes everything feel more relevant.
So it leads to communications and services that are just much more appealing and engaging for each individual customer.
Precisely. Think about getting an email with recommendations that are actually based on stuff you've bought before. That's personalization powered by data. It feels less like spam and more like helpful service.
Yeah, that definitely lands better. And finally, it really sounds like this is an ongoing cycle, not a project with an end date.
That's exactly right. You can't just implement a data strategy and then, dust off your hands and walk away.
Set it and forget it doesn't work here.
Definitely not. Establishing a continuous process for evaluating your data is essential. You need to regularly review and refine how you collect and analyze data.
Why the constant refinement?
To ensure it stays relevant and actionable as your business objectives evolve and the market landscape inevitably changes. It's really about constantly learning, adapting, and improving based on the information you're gathering. It's a loop.
So, wrapping things up then, if there's one core message from this deep dive, it really feels like understanding and, more importantly, effectively using data isn't just like a nice to have in modern business anymore.
Not at all.
It's really a fundamental requirement, not just for surviving, but for actually thriving. It's kind of the compass that guides smart decisions in what feels like an increasingly complex world.
Well said. It truly is the compass. And, this leads to a really interesting question, perhaps, for you, the listener, to think about.
Considering these insights we've discussed, how might you begin to incorporate more data-driven strategies into your own work, or maybe your business? Or perhaps, think about this, what surprising insights might already be hidden within the data you currently have access to, just waiting to be uncovered?